Today, for this lesson, we're now going to do the volumetric chemistry that we were talking about earlier. That is a titration. I've opened our book on the page which shows you the kinds of apparatus that you'd be using in the lab. Obviously we're not using that. However, we did find a jam jar that's very closely shaped to a conical flask. So when we're doing our titration, when we're doing our swilling to mix the solution, which is how we mix the solution, we'll be able to mix that successfully without too much swilling out the top, which is what we usually wanting to avoid. So the setup here is I've got the electronic scales underneath a white plate, saucer, sheet of paper, okay, and the jam jar on top. We're going to use the electronic scales to weigh to the nearest 1 milliliter the liquid that we're using. Now, we pre-prepared our bicarbonate, our sodium carbonate. So that's the bicarbonate of soda when you buy it from the shops, known as sodium carbonate to the chemists. We pre-prepared it by using 1/4 of a teaspoon. If you've got the ability to measure 1/4 of a teaspoon, using the mini measuring spoons, then use those. If you don't, then use the smallest teaspoon you've got and less than half full. We put in 100 millilitres of water to dissolve it, and we stirred it using our stirring stick. Okay, now the pipette is in there so that we can pour some in and then pipette back out to make sure we've got the right amount in our jar. On the weighing scales, we're going to aim for 50 millilitres in the jar. 50 millilitres in the jar on the weighing scales. Now, you saw how I did it earlier when I made the demonstration one.
Did I?
Yes, you did.
Oh.
And you're going to do it the same way. So you pour into from the jug very, very carefully. Now, you're doing really well. Oh my life, you got it right on the dot of 50. Impressive. I went over when I did it earlier and I had to pipette back out 8 millilitres. Hey, star. Right, now, when we did our demonstration one earlier, I think it worked out that we'd put about 10 millilitres of the indicator solution in it by the time we'd finished.
It's demonstration.
Yeah, it's a demonstration one. Okay. So, would you like to put about 10 millilitres in? And you need to keep an eye on your amounts on your weighing scale. So, and it's very blue, isn't it? So it's this nice blue colour.
Yeah.
In the alkali solution. I'm just looking for a pen. So once we've got that in, that's spot on, we're going to write down our readings so we don't forget them. It's gone 1 over, that's okay, you can't take anything out now, that's fine. Okay, so we're going to write down that weight, so we've got a record of it, and we're going to write down all of the other weights. So we'll just cut the video for a moment. So that's what we've got in our solution. And what we, apparently I need to show you a bit closer so you can actually see it, so there you go. I hope that's coming out the right way around for you. You never know, I might have just
Don't put it upside down.
I do not do mirror writing. Okay. Now, what we've got here is we've got a glass jar that we've saved, and we've put our white wine vinegar into that to make it easy to pipette out of.
And we're going to put in some of the bicarbonated water.
You've already got that.
Oh, have we? Is that already got that?
That was what you did.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let's just have you on the screen. Yes, you've already put the sodium bicarbonate water in there. That was the first one that you put in.
So now
then
you
put
this in.
Yes. So now what you're going to do is you're going to add slowly the acid, and in between each adding, you're going to swirl your jar, and you're going to wait until the fizzing stops before you add your next lot in. So it's purple where the acid hits the indicator. Immediately that the acid hits the indicator, it turns the purple colour, indicating that it is the acid. What we're looking for is the point at which it's about to change permanently into that purple, but just comes back again. And that's the number that you write down. Now, because you never get it right 100% each time, when we're doing a titration, we always do at least 3 trials. Now, we would go on and do 3 trials here, and we can put up our results below if you want to see them.
We've done 2 so far.
We've done 2 so far, but our first one actually really doesn't count because that was a rough and ready one. So you tend to do a sort of, oh, is this going to work sort of titration first. That's actually come out really well because
it wasn't doing any fizzing was the thing.
Yeah, I think you've hit the end point. So I can see that now you've swirled it and left it to finish its reaction, that it's actually gone back to the blue colour. So it looks like we're going to have to add a little bit more acid. Okay.
And we can video the change.
Give a close-up using this video camera so that you can see that it changes purple a bit in the middle, and then we swirl it round. Rather, Christopher's swirling it round.
Yeah, you're not doing it.
No, I'm not doing anything. I'm just holding the video camera.
Until it stops fizzing.
So until it stops fizzing, what's the colour like at the moment? Is it going purple?
Yeah, it's purplish. I think we could easily do another one though.
Okay.
That appears.
Oh, that's a nice purple there. I'm seeing that purple nicely. The problem is, of course, with these glassware that we use at home is that it's slightly green. Nobody really minds the glassware at home being slightly green.
What do you think of that then?
The glassware in the lab is perfectly white. I think you've got a good endpoint there. Let's take the number for that and write that down. And then off camera we will do 3 more. So 2 more. Off camera we'll do 2 more, and then we'll gain our averages and we'll put our results up and you can compare your results to ours. And that's basically pretty much it. When you're doing this in the lab, don't forget you'll be using a filling pipette, a special filling pipette with a filler bulb at the top, which you'll have to learn how to use in the lab. And you'll be using a burette, which is a long thin piece of glassware with a tap at the bottom, and it's graduated all up the side. And you do a subtraction sum when you're doing it, so the amount that you've poured into your liquid is from where it started from to where it finishes, and it's the difference between those 2 numbers. So you have to do a subtraction sum to calculate how much you've put into your conical flask. And then using that and doing some calculations, you can actually work out the molarity of the 2 solutions. Now, for your benefit, I have put up a sheet describing the practical and explaining how it is the same and different to doing it at school using the proper school equipment. The worksheet will be, a link to it will be in the description at the bottom.
Not in the resources video. It's going to be in this video.
Oh yeah, it'll be attached to this video.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing that you will find there is also for the high level students, you need to be able to do volumetric calculations.